Okay, Heart Dealer Podcast, Chrissy Spratt, take 2.37 or something like that.
Something like that.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I've had a really crazy month and a half. I mean, when we talked like 2.5, 3 months ago, I think. The last little while has been messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been going on?
Well, I think I told you that I was having a baby.
Yes, you did.
We lost the baby
Oh, I'm so
on
sorry.
Father's Day.
I'm so sorry. That's terrible news.
It is terrible news. I've been dealing with it best I can. What's the other craziness? Oh yeah, like last week I ended up needing emergency gallbladder removal surgery.
Whoa.
So like on Wednesday, Tuesday I was in pain, Wednesday I was in surgery, Thursday I'm back to work.
Whoa, that's insane. How are
Yes,
you feeling?
I feel a little beat up. Like life has really just been giving it to me,
Mm,
but all we can do is keep going.
yep, that's right. Things will get better. But
They
yeah,
do,
the universe really has this way, of just
100%.
everything at once.
Yep. I'm a believer that there's no such thing as anything bad subjectively. I mean, yes, things are when they're bad, but subjectively it's not bad, or maybe not subjectively, philosophically, it's not bad. It's just something that hasn't manifested into something good yet. Because from everything there's a lesson learned, a new habit born, whatever it is. So I will I am fine and I will be even better with these lessons, whatever they are.
That's a good positive outlook.
It
You need
is.
that in life, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've had a lot of change too since we first tried this. Uh, you announced an album.
That's right, yeah. So an EP, uh, dropping August 22nd.
Not only did you announce it, but I also saw like performance dates, like a mini tour.
Yeah, so I got a mini tour in Canada with 6 different dates to cities that I have never been to before, even just, on vacation. So it's gonna be quite the experience.
So that, like for me, that's something I haven't experienced before. What it's like from your perspective as an artist to now all of a sudden be like, oh shit, I have to get up on stage in front of all these people and like command the audience and speak open mic, hot mic. How does it make you
Yeah,
feel?
there's a lot of pressure, especially because I haven't done a show like that ever before. Everything that I have done has either been like festivals or like shorter performances. So having my own set with strictly my own music, it's it's very, very nerve-wracking. But I've been practicing and I still have a month to go. And there's just a lot of things that need to fall into place. But yeah, a lot of it is also just like being in the moment and a little bit of improv and making sure that you are having a good time with good energy so that you can just give that, what people pay for to come see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the moment, I'm a big believer in presence. And one of the best ways to remain present is through gratitude. And that's what I've been doing a lot of for the last couple of years of my life, especially the last few months with all the stuff that's happened. How do you even navigate that? And you have to constantly go back to the basics. Like today's a new day. It could be worse. You have to be present. What are you grateful for? You got these other kids. You got your health. You have to do that. So are you doing a lot of the similar stuff now with prepping for the show so that you don't spin out?
Definitely. Like you have to be grateful for all of these milestones and all of these steps that you're taking towards, the end goal. So, yeah, I definitely practice a lot of gratitude and even though yeah, like I'm nervous, I'm so grateful for the opportunities. So, and I think it's good to be nervous when you have something so big in your life because that means that you care about it. If
Mhm.
you're not nervous for something, like I don't know, I feel like it'd be like oh, it's because I don't really care. Because I
Yeah,
want to do a good job, and I feel like that's where the nerves come from.
it's a very interesting perspective. I tend to agree with you. Do you, I mean, we'll talk about all your social media stuff later because I really found that part of our previous conversation fascinating and I think
Mm.
so useful for aspiring artists and creatives out there. But to that point, did you find the same thing when you first started to develop this, what is now a massive online following? Like, I'm nervous about how people are going to respond to this post or this video performance.
Yeah, I'm still nervous to this day. No matter what I post, it might not be as nerve-wracking as it was in the beginning because I sort of found my groove, but there's still always that slight sense of nervousness of, is this good enough? Am I posting the right things? Are people gonna connect to this, relate to this? So yeah, that feeling doesn't really ever go away.
Good. Um, or I think that means you're doing it for the right reasons, according to
Yeah.
my logic. So let's go back to the beginning and then kind of progress the conversation forward. Ottawa born, singer of Lebanese Armenian heritage, social
Yeah.
media influencer. Why don't you talk us through, your upbringing and ultimately, what shaped the person and creator that you are?
So born and raised in Ottawa. I've lived here my whole life. And I was a very shy child, like extremely shy. And I always knew I had this sense of loving music, but I didn't know how to express that because I was so shy. So it wasn't until I got a little bit older, I was in high school where I had like a very supportive like friend system and like teachers and stuff. But when I was younger, like when I was, like 5, 6 years old, I knew my mom always as a piano player. My mom was always a piano player and she loved to sing as well. And my dad was in a band when he was younger. So he had a guitar and he would play the guitar for me and my brothers, when we were younger just for fun. So I've always like been around music. But yeah, it wasn't until later on when I was in high school that I actually started to like perform and sing in front of people. So this one wonderful teacher that I had, she was organizing the school choir and she was asking, does anybody want to be part of it? She was putting together this act from Sister Act 2, Oh Happy Day, and she needed a lead singer. So, my friends vouched for me and she just was like, okay, like let's do this. So next thing you know, I was singing at the assembly in front of everybody at school and it just went really well and I really loved it. And that's kind of like where everything progressed, like from literally that moment. I'm like, I want to do this like forever.
You said that was high school.
Yeah, that was high school. I was 13.
So, like the kids who were vouching for you, obviously they knew you could sing before you did the thing. So, where did the singing truly start? Like, were you just like 8 years old and in the kitchen with a spoon? Like, how did this?
No. No, not even. Like I was like too shy to sing in front of like anybody, in front of my parents or anybody. But I just had this like small group of friends that I don't know, I guess I would like hum a little bit or like maybe like I think I like told them that I like to sing and maybe like I had like sung for like a select few of my friends, but like that was really it. That was it. So yeah, I was just really glad that I had that like support around me to actually like get me out of my comfort zone because like who knows if I would have ever actually like had that courage by myself.
Good for you. So, what's
Yeah.
the largest like performance you've done, and then what's this first show size wise compared to that one?
So I have done a lot of large shows, but they were just me coming on as like a feature or like an opening act. So I would say like the biggest like show I've ever done was Snoop Dogg, the
What?
Snoop Dogg. Yeah. This is in this
How did
was
I not know that?
so this is in 2019. And yeah, Snoop Dogg had like this Ontario tour. So it wasn't even like a Canadian tour. It was a few cities in Ontario. And I found my way into that show. So I was like an opening act, but very short. I mean, I performed like two songs, like that was it. But it gave me that experience of being in front of massive crowds. Like I would say probably like the biggest audience, probably like I don't know. I like I can't even put a number on it. Like 8,000 people, something like that. And I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't know that we were going to be performing in these arenas. I didn't know that. So I thought in my head, I thought we were like going to do, like venues, nightclubs, like these sort of things. So like I was shocked. Like the first show I walked into for sound check, I'm like, "Oh wow. I feel the pressure."
That's
Yeah.
wild. I
So,
mean,
yeah.
that kind of takes away from like the impact of these upcoming shows. Not that they're not impactful and large and important in your career and whatnot, but like you've already done something on such a large scale. I don't know why your publicist isn't just starting the press release like with saying have says open for Snoop Dogg.
But you know what? There's such a difference though between you're performing in front of a crowd that's not they're not really there for you. Like they're there to be entertained, but they're there for Snoop Dogg, as opposed to performing for people who they paid money to come see you. Like they are there to be entertained by you. They're there for you. They know your songs. So it's this whole it's just a different, it's completely different in my opinion. And I'd rather perform for a smaller group of people that are there specifically to be entertained by me than to perform for like even if 10,000, 20,000 people at a festival or something where nobody actually like knows who I am. So yeah, I rather do that, perform for like a smaller group of people that are my fans.
That makes sense. I mean, at least from the fundamental perspective, you've done it before. You've seen like large scale production. You've been in front of a large audience. That'll hopefully help with the overall comfortability in front of the crowds. How big are these shows that you're going to be doing?
They're still pretty big. I mean, like I think we're talking about like 2,000 capacities.
Okay,
Yeah. They vary from city to city, but yeah, they are still pretty large. Yeah.
that's amazing.
I'm nervous just thinking of it.
You'll be fine. It's
Yeah.
funny in life, like the unknown is what we're nervous of, and then as soon as we've done it once, it becomes much more. Um, well, you understand it and it becomes easier. It doesn't mean it goes away. Just like you said, right? Like the nerves don't necessarily go away, but at least you're starting to create habit and you're stepping forward into something that's a lot more comfortable. So, given the fact that you've done this before, it's the same thing, and give it one or two shows and you'll be flying.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I'm just excited.
Even the biggest artists in the world, the Foo Fighters, for lack of better example, when they're going back on tour, they're like performing the shows or the songs again. They're practicing before they actually do that first show. And a lot of times, the first couple of shows are rough, and then you have to like get the momentum, and then boom, then it starts to fly. So there's no right or wrong. You just gotta do it.
It's true. Yeah, you work out all the kinks like within the first like few shows on like any massive scale. There was even that thing that happened with Beyonce just recently on her tour. She was in like a car that was like floating across like on top of the audience,
Hmm.
and then it started to like tilt. And so like after that, I think she just like removed that from her from her tour. So yeah, even like big artists, they have to work out kinks too.
Amen.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, obviously, a lot's changed in the last few months with the EP being announced and shows being announced. Can you believe that like this is where you are from the start of the year to now? Like, oh my God, like my dreams as an aspiring musician are starting to realize.
Yeah. Yeah, I can realize that because this is sort of what all the work was meant for, right? This is the progression. And so it would kind of be weird if like I was still in the same place as I was like a few months ago. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is kind of like everything I've envisioned.
Good for you.
Mhm.
Um, what I mean, like there's obviously you as an artist, there's you as an influencer, which are slowly becoming one and the same. What shaped that? You were this shy, timid person, and then you discovered the desire to perform and whatnot. Was it family, friends, school, religion? Like what helped shape you into the person that you are now?
I think it's just like a combination of all of that. Combination with, family, teachers, friends, um, this like desire that I had and this passion that I had that I really wanted to do this. And for me, YouTube was a really big helpful tool for me at the time. So I was just putting out all my music on YouTube, and I was filming all my cover songs, putting them out like that. And over the years, like they progressed and they got a little bit better. And I shifted my focus from YouTube then to TikTok and Instagram. And TikTok really had a massive impact on my career just because of how like interactive it was. And it was like the first type of platform that would push out, it had like a really sophisticated algorithm for its time, and so it was pushing it out people that to the people that it thought would enjoy the content that I was doing. So that's kind of like where it all like really like started to pick up for me, with TikTok. And then comments were coming in, requests were coming in, and that's kind of just like how I grew my page.
Chicken versus egg. So, like, did you go into your career in social media thinking, I'm going to be an artist with original music and perform, or was it almost like a natural result of the organic evolution of you as a content creator?
I think there was always this desire to write my own music, be an original artist, but I just loved to sing so much that the cover songs, they were also just easier to do than, putting together a whole like original, I have to rent a studio and then I have to do this and I have to like collaborate with people and then like how do I put this out? How do I market it? Like that was always going on, but doing the covers was just so much easier, and it was also just more like so like it was just like a release for me. I just wanted
Mm.
to sing. So, yeah, and then like I never really like expected it to like I didn't go into it thinking like I need to be viral. Like that wasn't the point of it. The point was just it was fun. It was fun for me. Yeah.
Authentic.
Yeah.
How do you create, I mean, we know a little bit about how you create content. You talked about having a unique setup and like finding your voice or finding your niche and then repeating that, which I'd love to talk about more later. But like from a music point or music standpoint now, do you just find yourself writing lyrics more and create like writing songs more? Do you work with a writing team? I We have a few artists, solo artists, and they all work differently. So I'm curious to see like how you do.
Well, like I definitely shifted from doing the covers to focusing more of my time and energy on writing music, and collaborating is the best thing you could do as an artist because you bounce ideas off of other people who are also creatives, and you just never know what kind of product you're gonna come up with at the end of a session. So, and then like you also like learn from them. I'm teaching them things as well. Like my melodies, my flows are different than, somebody else that I'm working with. And them too, I'm starting to like pick up things that they're doing or their writing style. So you just always come out of like a collaborative session, like winning and learning something in some way. So yeah, highly, highly recommend collaborating with other people in this industry.
Do you do most of your own lyric writing, vocal writing? I mean, how much do you do, and how much does the collaborator do? Do you play guitar? Like, where do you leave off?
Yeah, so like it depends. Like every session is different. Also, like when I'm just in my zone and I'm in my studio set up at home, I'm just sort of like doing everything myself. I'm writing by myself. I'm, singing the melodies by myself. I don't produce. Producing is like a whole other skill set of its own. But what I'll do is when I'm like in a mood to just write, I'll just write over, whatever production I find online just to, get me in that zone and have something to write on. But I would say like my biggest strength is melodies. I love freestyling melodies. And when I'm starting on a new song, even if I'm like in a session with somebody, what usually happens is we start with like some type of loop of like a production. Usually like it's the producer, he'll like start a loop and melodies start coming to mind, and I'm freestyling melodies, and then we're like adding words to that, and that's sort of like usually how it starts for
Mhm.
me, like that creation, that's how it starts.
Awesome.
And then you end up with a product by the end of it and you're like, this is pretty cool.
How do you balance now all of the music stuff you're doing with the social media creation?
It goes hand in hand. So whatever I am doing when it comes to music, if I'm like at the studio or I'm trying to create or, you know, I'm filming all of the time because I think it's really cool to also see the creative process and to film something from the beginning, not knowing where it's going to end up and having that footage later on to like show people this song that you guys love, this is how it started. I think is so cool. So I always just make sure I'm just like filming everything that I have and everything I'm doing and that sort of keeps like the social media going. And like I still make sure that I'm interacting with everybody and I'm like checking out comments and seeing where what do the fans like want from me at the
Mhm.
same time. So like I'm always like keeping tabs on that too because it's important.
This might be a dumb question, but how do you film? You just have an iPhone on a stick, or what is it?
So many different ways to film. Yeah, like usually it's literally like just with my phone or like if I need my phone because I'm like writing lyrics on my phone, I have another camera that I just set up on a tripod.
Okay.
Um yeah, like just it's very simple. Like it doesn't need to be, you know, so like intricate and complicated. Like it's just simple. People just want to see the process.
I want to ask about socials because I find socials fascinating, and I'm old enough to have been through like MySpace to like when Facebook launched to what it is now, and all the other
Mhm.
socials that have come up. And I'm by no means an expert, but what I see with the artists that we're working with is this two different things. One is I'm new. I have no followers, or sub 500 followers, sub 200 sometimes. Or I've been around, I've got 50,000 to 100,000, but my numbers are stagnating. I don't know what to do. And I know that from a branding, marketing, social media perspective, there's a huge difference between, what's your presence? Are you using the same handle everywhere? Are your bios tight? Are you using the same imagery? All the aesthetic, is the aesthetic lined up so that whether you're on TikTok or IG, you can immediately identify that this is this artist at this point in time in their career. But then there's content creation. Content is like arguably the hardest and most important part. And that really like that comes down to either the artist, or if they have if they're lucky enough to have a team, or money to pay for it, someone is developing the content for them. How is it done? Like, what's the trick? How did you go from 0 to 5 million? And like what's the that fine point in between? Like, how do you break over that hump that we all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm not at 500 anymore. I'm at like
Mhm.
1,300. Now I'm seeing active growth. And then you can start to actually get feedback from the fans. Because when you got 150 followers on IG, like you can't really put out a poll to say, what do you want to see from me?
100%. I think that's like the hardest part for anybody who is trying to start because it's going to take time and you have to have this mentality of that you're putting out quality content that even though right now you don't have eyes on you, at some point you're going to get there where there's going to be that one video that sparks everything and it's gonna go a little viral. Maybe it won't be mega viral, but it'll do its thing. And now people are coming to your page and now they're backtracking and they're seeing all the stuff that you've posted up to that point. So even though you don't have eyes at that particular moment on your page, you got to put out content and be consistent with it as if you did. So then when you do have that moment, people come to your page and they like what they see and then they become a fan and now you have a fan base that's growing.
So
So
consistency and quality are super important.
yes, and also, like, when I say quality, you don't have to get over like, as an artist, I feel like we have this, like, perception that, like, everything has to be perfect and, like, super creative and, like, different. It doesn't have to be that way. There's times for, you know, high quality professional content, and then there's also times for just being human and just people just want to get an inside look at your life. It doesn't have to be filmed with, you know, crazy cameras and, crazy lighting and stuff. Like sometimes people just want to just get a glimpse into your life, and you do almost a better job at connecting with people when you're just being real and authentic.
So you're saying it's not the quality of the gear and the recording, it's more so the quality of the actual content, like what you're
Yeah.
putting out.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people just want to see you chit chat like as if you're on a FaceTime call, you're just like on your phone, just like having a conversation. It doesn't have to be all fancy all the time.
What would you say to someone that would say, "Ah, nobody cares about me? Like, there's so many people that are already doing the same thing as me. Like, why am I important? Why would I bother doing this stuff?"
Because everybody's unique. Everybody has their own story. And there are people out there that can relate to you no matter how, you know, how I don't know, like if you think that there's nothing special about you, or you think like, oh, there's so many people doing this, it's such like a saturated market, there will always be somebody out there that can relate to you. So just be yourself, just do you. Literally just do you at the end of the day.
I totally agree. I think that's where true coolness and true authenticity is born, is in being like so true to ourselves. And what's funny is I've used this example in the past is that you might think that no one cares, but we have to also realize that on a global scale, the chances that someone has heard that idea are very low, right? Like I can't think of a great example off the top of my head right now, but let's say a guitar riff. You're like, this is the coolest song ever. Ever, like millions of people have heard the song. Who hasn't? There,
Mhm.
there are not things. Not everyone's Coca-Cola, where everyone's heard of Coca-Cola, no matter where you are in the world. Usually, there is something that someone hasn't heard, which is why multiple companies come around doing the same idea, or multiple people will say the same thing. There's so many inspiration channels because, oh my god, I've never heard that quote before, or that saying before. That doesn't mean 15 other people haven't said the same thing. You just haven't heard that, and now you might be the one person that they hear it from, and so they connect with you, and therefore they connect with your content.
100%. Yeah. That's it's like on TikTok when people are, they get inspo from a trend that's happening and then they basically like reenact it. There's like thousands and thousands and thousands of people doing the exact same thing, and to somebody that is your video was the first time they're going to see that trend. So like there's just so much room and space for everybody. You just got to do it, and you got to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, why is the next person going to believe in you?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great transition. I was gonna just ask about the family. I know that we talked about family earlier, and we talked about it last time. And you said that you have a really good upbringing, and your childhood was great, and your mom and dad have been super supportive, and that you're also married, and your husband's like been super supportive of your career. Where do you find the balance of change from within? I'm gonna be my own champion versus other people saying, "Come on, you got this." What's the balance for you?
I mean, I think in the beginning, when you have a little doubt about yourself, that's when you sort of need that validation, I guess, from outside people that, you respect their opinions. And for me, I respected my husband's opinion, my family's opinion, and it was great that I had that support from them. But then you get to a place where you just you have you just get this confidence about what you're doing, because you do it for like an extended period of time, and like you feel like you're growing in it, like you feel like you're doing better every single time that you put pen to paper, or you put out a video, or you sing. And I don't know, like it's like it's such like a hard question to answer, because like, yeah, like I have my days and my moments when I feel like, oh, everything is shit, like what am I doing? But then you snap out of it the next day, and like everything's fine. Like you get that confidence back. But God, I don't know. It's like hard to think where that actually comes from.
I think you did a great job of answering that in the sense that it's so important to have a team, a family, a circle, a community, whatever it is, to help you through hard times, to help you through maybe initial fears and
Mhm.
fright. You're starting something else, but the rest of the time, it's us that needs to stay positive, motivated, and determined.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like I said at the beginning of this chat, like I've been handed a hard stick for the last few months, last couple of years, to be honest, but the last few months especially. Uh, and I mean, if I didn't have therapists, counselors, partners, friends, business partners, family, like the amount of phone calls that I've made in the last 2 months. Not that I am not like a confident, you know, young man, but you need a pick me up sometimes.
For sure. Everybody does. Life is not meant to be lived alone and solo. Like you need that connection with people.
Which is so funny that we're talking about social media influence and the connection with people and the difference between like, that and the reality of that versus real life. Um, how is it even possible to bring that into the social media world, like with TikTok and these other platforms where you have such a huge following? Like, is it possible to bring more of the humanity into that online world?
Yeah. It comes with interacting. You literally get to know your fans. You get to know them through literally through like a your comments. And I have conversations with them.
Mm,
I literally have some of their numbers in my phone. Like this like that's how close we've gotten. And there is definitely space for connection on the internet, like in the social media world. It exists. You just can't like post something and then like chuck your phone and just never check anything because like what's the point in that too?
yeah, that makes sense. So, are you saying that if I'm playing devil's advocate here, that the social media game, so to speak, is as much about posting as it is about engaging and following up?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is because you by doing that, you also like learn about your fan base. You learn about what they want from you, what they like of you, and you want to feel connected to them at the end of the day. You know, and that's what keeps them like connected as well. Like you need to have some type of just like some type of like relationship.
Hmm.
Even if you like kind of just like group them, you know, you don't have to like answer every single message to every single person, but you know, like you just g- put out a video saying like thank you to everybody. Like you are speaking to every single fan at that point when you put out videos like that. So I do think it's important and you can keep that connection.
Let's talk about socials because you've got you're doing so well with that part of your world, and I think as a creative and artist, it's so important to success. Um, I'm kind of asking questions for myself, but also on behalf of all artists everywhere.
Yeah.
How and I'm sure there's going to be a million different talking points. How is it? How do I phrase this? How do you keep going, or you post something, it gets 3 likes, you have 40 followers. What do you think of that? Like, what do you think of the fact that it doesn't have 3 likes? Do you focus on the results? Do you focus on the metrics? Do you just keep posting and not care about who's engaging with it? Do you say, okay, no one's engaging with this, maybe I should change my strategy? There's so much nuance to each individual post on every platform. Like, what's the trick? Chrissy, tell us how to do it.
Honestly, there's no like real trick like other than just being being consistent. Like there is no real trick. Like even to this day, sometimes I post something and it's like nobody saw it. And I'm like, I have 40 likes on this. Like what just like what happened? But you just gotta keep pushing. You gotta see it through because a lot of times at the end of the day, it's not that the content sucks. It's just like it just hasn't reached the proper audience yet. So you just gotta keep doing it and be thankful for every like that you do get, even if it is 3 likes.
Be thankful that's the gratitude. That's a good
Mm,
point. Just be grateful for what you're getting and stop focusing on what you want to get.
mhm.
Um, you're mostly on TikTok, is that correct? Or are you
TikTok and Instagram.
okay? So with TikTok and Instagram, I mean TikTok obviously has video base. With IG, are you doing mostly video content there as well?
Yeah, it's more or less the same stuff that I'm posting on both. Yeah.
So for these aspiring artists and or the 50,000 likes, but or followers, but I can't grow because I'm stuck. Photos versus videos versus what do you think is the way to go
I think videos are the way to go. Still post your photos, but videos are they have you keep the attention span of somebody for a lot longer
with
than
video
just a
content?
photo. Yeah, and like video content is easier also to like show your personality and stuff. Like people want to hear you. They want to know what you sound like. They want to know how you move. Like, how do how do you like interact with a camera? Like they want to know these things. A picture is just gonna show your outfit and like maybe something you're doing, but
Hmm.
it's not show real personality. They get that through like the experience of a video.
That makes sense. How important is it to hashtag or at someone or invite to collab on all these different channels? Should we do it all?
Yeah, do it all for sure. Me, I have this weird like love-hate relationship with hashtags. I'm not sure if they actually do anything. I'm not sure. I've never been able to figure that out, but collaborating is a big one. Invite your collaborators, do videos with other people because then it broadens your network to their network now, their fan
Mhm.
base. So any type of collaboration you could do is I'm all for it.
Hashtags are a funny one. I feel like we're in this weird middle zone now where if you use any of the generic large like hashtag music, no one's checking that shit. There's like
No,
how many bazillion posts on hashtag music, and if you do hashtag music's really cool from this city at this time, it's like no one's checking that hashtag either. It almost feels like you need to do these micro tags, like things that are a little bit more niche and specific to be able to actually get engagement from them.
I feel like your caption is more important than hashtags. Say what you need to say in your caption because the algorithms now, even on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, they're getting so like they're so developed now that I don't know if you've like noticed this, but like in the search bar, like in your videos, like when you're scrolling, there'll be a search bar with like what the algorithm thinks people are searching for. So like for example, I'll post a video and let's say it's about my tour. I did not hashtag anything. I just wrote in the caption, get ready to come on tour with me, blah 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 blah. And then the search bar is tour dates Chrissy Spratt. So like it knows. So I feel like caption is a little bit more important than the hashtags.
Okay, noted. um
Mhm.
Expectation versus reality. I think that a lot of times people don't set things up for themselves, for others, and then you have, misunderstandings, misinterpretations. You get frustrated because, oh my God, I thought this was going to take 3 minutes and it's actually a 30-minute job. What is expectation versus reality on a post? I take my phone, I go outside, I have this amazing idea, and I record it for 30 seconds. Now I got the video. I want to share that with my community. How much work is going in after I've recorded that? And like, do I have to write the script and then record it, and then I have to like get it ready to post and add a filter and then put on? Give us an idea of what that is like.
I mean, every post is different. You could do it all under 5 minutes, or it could take you 8 hours. It really depends. But my motto is zero expectation. Zero expectation after you post something like that. No expectation whatsoever because the video that you think you put all this time and effort into, and you think, "Oh, like, it's gonna do really good because I've put so much effort into it," does nothing.
Mm.
And then the silly video you took on your phone, 30 seconds, posted it, catches on.
That's that whole argument about authenticity, right? Sometimes when you're being your goofy, real self and you've like dropped all inhibitions, you're capturing that rawness, and that's what the people are seeing and vibing with. Whereas the other one that's planned out and cerebral, they're like, whatever, this isn't who
Mhm.
that person truly is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, we see that with music all the time where someone writes like the best song ever and they're like, I can't wait to get this out. And it flops. And then they write song number two by Blur and it's huge. And they're like, that was kind of a joke song. How did that become so big? It's probably because it
exactly.
was fun.
Yeah, or even, like, you see people that spend so much money on a music video to get nobody to watch it, and then the next song they put out, they're just sitting in their bedroom with a guitar, and then that one goes viral.
Fair.
So, it's really just have no expectations.
So no expectations, be real, and just do stuff consistently.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's all we need to know, and we will all have 5.5 million followers. And I'm sure that number is higher now. I apologize. What's the actual number?
No,
6.3.
so no, it's still hovering over there, yeah.
So you're stuck. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to grow it?
Be consistent.
Oh,
Consistent.
well
Have
played.
0 expectations.
So with your music, you talked about music videos just now, albums coming out. Are you already in a position where you're thinking about like the next music, recording next stuff? I mean, I'm a big believer that especially within art and the business of art, you have to be consistent afterwards. Right? How many times have people dropped albums and then they have nothing planned for 6 months, and then all of a sudden no one cares? Not everyone is Beyonce or Tool, where you can go away for 11 years and then come back with an album and everyone cares. For most of the rest of the creators, you need to have stuff regularly. What do you have coming post tour? I mean,
Yeah.
you can't talk about everything, but like, are you creating all the time for?
Well, you have to keep momentum. If you lose your momentum, it's exactly like you said, if you're not already on that level with all the major superstars, it is what it is at the end of the day. You have to keep the momentum going. So, yeah, after I put out this EP and I do the tour, back in the studio right away. I'm gonna be
Nice.
working on the album. Yeah,
Oh, an album. So from EP to album.
yeah.
Nice, nice. So you're gonna be busy.
I'm gonna I'm always gonna be busy. If
How
I'm not in a studio recording, there's always, there's 1,000 other things going on.
I get it. I'm grinding every day. I mean, not that having your gallbladder is like a huge surgery, but less than 12 hours, 12 hours later, I was at this same chair answering emails, grinding because you can't not do it. You have to do it, especially if you love it. Like that's a different thing altogether. Right? If you wake up and it's your passion, you're compelled to do it, but you also have to keep doing it in order to get those results and maintain the results. It's that expression, right? That it's what's harder, making money or keeping money?
Mm,
Keeping money.
yeah.
Making money
The
is
grind
easy.
never stops. The grind never stops.
Yeah. Um, Teams. We talked about your family earlier and community and obviously now also socials and having that amazing relationship with some of your followers and fans. When it comes to music, art in general, I'm a big believer that, where true artistry ends, business begins. They're separate. They're
Mm.
conjoined for sure, but you have to have its own area. You can't like write an album thinking about, how it's going to sell. You just need to get that art out. What needs to happen once you get to that next phase is you need to have a team, especially now with all the different tools and things that are happening.
Yeah.
You signed to Highway 89 Entertainment.
Yeah.
What's it like having a team? How do they help you? What do you need as an artist the most? Like, what are the things that they do for you that you're like, oh my God, thank God, I've needed this so much.
So much. so much. And it's one of those things where I didn't realize I needed that until I signed with them because I thought this entire time like I could do it by myself. And like to be honest, okay, cool. Like I got, the social media game on lock. Okay, I did that by myself, like from the comfort of my home. Cool. But there's so much more that I realize that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to just like promoting your songs, getting your song out there to radio, getting placements, making money from it. This is all stuff that just I was just so oblivious to. So they really handle a lot of like the back end stuff, well, like the hundreds of emails that go out and the communications. They handle all of that stuff, and I'm just so thankful I have that because I mean, like, it's great that I have like this amazing presence on social media, and it's fun and it's great, but how do I like convert that now, into streams and into like radio plays and things like that so I can do this for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, they've been a great help. And you definitely, 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 definitely need a team at some point, even if it's literally just like your best friend that wants to like help out, manage you, and send out those emails. It gives you the time to just focus on being a creative.
Mhm. How important is it to be able to invest in yourself or invest in the product financially, versus not? Because this is something I see from a lot of different artists where they're like, oh, no one's signing me. I got to get signed. And here's the bill for your publicity and marketing. Well, why am I paying for this? It's I believe that you have to do that. Music is like a business, right? Like if you create a product and you expect people to buy it and take interest in it, and you're not willing to like put your own money up or get a loan and take on that chance, how can you expect other people to? What's your opinion?
If you do not invest in yourself, do not expect anybody to drop a dollar on you. Why would they? Why would they? Because you're basically showing to them that you don't even believe enough in yourself to spend your own money. Why is somebody else going to spend their hard-earned money on you? So I've literally just like side hustled being a server for as long as I can remember, just to invest it back into whatever it is, studio time, hiring videographers, buying outfits, traveling, getting into studio sessions with people. Like all of my money went back into the investment, which is me. It went back into me. So that is I like nobody can argue with me on that. If you do not invest in yourself, nobody else is just gonna come around and hand you a lot of cash and be like, I want to give you my money.
I agree. I mean, there are instances of it, but few and far between. Um, what about artists that say, I've been doing that for 5 years. I've been doing that for a decade. I haven't made a dime yet. I keep
Keep
working.
going.
I keep putting.
Keep going. Keep going. It's gonna happen. Something has to give at some point. And you know what? Maybe it's also maybe like maybe you have to like reevaluate also if you have been doing it for that long. Okay, let me see. Let me try to rebrand. Let me see like what is study other artists and see how they did it. But don't stop. Don't just quit. Don't stop, especially if you've invested that much time and energy. It's obviously your passion and it's obviously very meaningful to you in your life. So I wouldn't stop.
I wouldn't either. I mean, as an entrepreneur, it's no different than a creative pursuit, right? It's the same thing. Uh, when you find the thing that you feel like you're supposed to do, there's no stopping you. And it's going to be hard to get to certain goals, but you have to keep going all the time, no matter what. And I think you made a good point. It's important to stop and also like reassess. Like, okay, if I've been doing the same thing for 10 years and there's nothing happening, maybe I should like have reevaluated. Maybe I should have rebranded, to use your words, or tweaked something along the way. That doesn't mean you should give up.
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's also like really good to just get opinions from other people, people that you trust and you love that are in your circle. Just get opinions from them. And sometimes, you know, the the truth, like they'll be honest with you. And then maybe they'll tell you, look, like I think you don't sound the greatest doing this style of music. Maybe you wanna, like, shift it a little bit to this, or I could really picture you on, like, a track like this, or like, they'll be honest with you, and it's all love at the end of the day, so don't be scared to ask your circle because they've been there watching what you've been doing, and they want the best for you too, and they want you to succeed, so I wouldn't be scared to ask them for their opinion.
I agree. Drop the ego and be open to be open to criticism, be open to change. I mean, like I manage a decent sized team and I have people for the last 3 years that have been helping me get better as a leader because they've been giving me feedback because I create an environment where I said, like, if I'm coming across as too blunt or if you feel upset by something I'm saying, I can't change my behavior unless you flag that. And when you flag it, I can say, oh, I can see how you interpret it that way. Let me see if I can subtly alter my messaging so that you feel more empowered and I'm getting the same results from the person, but I'm not saying it in such a bullish way.
Exactly, yeah.
I had a another point. Oh yeah, I was gonna say like I really think it comes down to this one thing that I always harp on with all artists. If you're an artist, you are going to create art for art's sake. You are not going to care about the sales and the shows and the metrics and the performance and if you're signed or not signed and if you've made money or not because you're just going to be grateful and happy and fulfilled that you've created that art because that's what you feel like you have to do.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's not supposed to feel forced. It's not supposed to be a job, even though like it kind of is, but you're doing it from pure love and passion. So the money will eventually come.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not something that you should from the get-go be like, how am I going to make money? It's everybody who's ever, been an entrepreneur or, you know, been their own boss, like they'll tell you like the money will come. You just gotta have like you gotta have the vision and execute it.
Mhm. It's what's the analogy, not analogy, the expression. Your passion should never, it's your job, but it should never feel like work. I wake up, I can do like a 14-hour day, a 20-hour day, and I'm never once like, "Oh, I hate this." It's
Yeah.
always like, "Okay, what's next?" So,
Yeah.
what's next? What do you got? You got shows, you got an album, and you're gonna go on vacation and tour Italy for a month.
That would be amazing, actually.
Wouldn't it be? I need a break.
That is so great. But no, yeah, I mean, like, that's the immediate plan for the next, month and a half is drop the EP, keep pushing these songs that are already out, and go on tour and just keep building.
I really appreciate your time today. I'm so happy we got to re-record and have this conversation again. Be true to yourself. Don't stop going. Be consistent with your content. Make sure the content is authentically you. Have a good team around you. Rely on the team when you need them, but find that fire within. That kind of summarizes our chat. Anything else you want to say?
No, you nailed it. You that was that was perfectly said.
Thanks, Chrissy. Keep
You.
well. Talk to you again soon.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. This was a great conversation.